Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you about 10 foods that can seriously boost your potency and help you become a healthier man. It's important to watch this video all the way through because if you start incorporating what I'm recommending today, you could improve your erections by up to 35%. The problem of erectile dysfunction is hitting younger and younger men. It used to be guys in their 55s, 65s. Now, the average age of my patients is around 27, 32 to 38 years old. Many are surprised when we see hormonal problems at this age during appointments. And of course, when they're dealing with erectile dysfunction, most of them are hoping for some kind of pill. And most doctors will basically just recommend pills. Take Viagra, take Cialis, take Levitra. That's all fine, but there are natural, safe, and most importantly, healthy alternatives. So today I'll briefly explain how erections work and tell you about 10 foods and how to properly consume them. And believe me, these aren't just big claims, this is real. If you start using these and make them part of your diet, erections can improve in many situations by 35%, sometimes even 45%. And I'll explain specifically for each product how it will improve your erection. Quick lesson. Let me briefly explain how erections happen and how all these drugs that improve erections actually work. Nitric oxide is what causes vasodilation, which is the widening of blood vessels. Erections occur under the action of nitric oxide. It's released, causes the vessels to dilate, and blood rushes to the corpus cavernosum. The corpus cavernosum is like a sponge that fills your penis inside, and it absorbs blood. What happens because of the strong blood flow? The penis swells up. All this time, blood is draining from the penis through the veins, but because the inflow is so strong and the corpus cavernosum is expanding, they compress the veins. Good inflow blocks the outflow, and even during an erection, some blood continues to drain from the penis. But because of the difference between inflow and outflow, and because the veins are compressed, we get an erection. And so all these medications they give you, recommend, or those miracle supplements often advertised online, which actually contain medications inside and are poisoning you because they have many contraindications and can't just be taken casually. We can influence all these same things, the production of nitric oxide. Product number 1, pomegranate. We rarely see it on our tables, but it's actually incredibly beneficial. It's beneficial for many reasons. The main thing is that it increases nitric oxide production. And besides being good for your potency, for your erection, it has another very important property. And this has been tested in numerous experiments on humans and animals. It improves sperm quality. Another very important property is detoxification. You often ask, what can remove toxins? Well, metals are better removed from the body and neutralized when you consume pomegranates. There's one catch, though. How do we all usually consume pomegranates? We just squeeze out the juice. Just drink it. That's wrong. Pomegranate contains many beneficial substances in its skin, too. But let's skip the skin. It doesn't taste good. But the seeds, they're very important. You need to eat them with the seeds. Why? Because when you consume pomegranate seeds under the action of gut flora, they turn into urolithins. Urolithins protect blood vessels, protect you from cancer, protect you from blood clots, improve immunity, and have a positive effect on your hormonal balance. Product number 2, and I actually love this one, is watermelon. It seems like, yeah, watermelon and potency, erection, how can they be connected? It's actually very simple. The donor, meaning what nitric oxide comes from, is nitrates. And watermelon contains a huge amount of nitrates. It absorbs them well from the soil. And that's actually why it's easy to get food poisoning from it, because watermelon acts like a filter, absorbing all the bad stuff too. And so when watermelons grow in a bad environment or are fertilized too aggressively, they can cause food poisoning. They absorb all kinds of junk. You eat it and get sick. People often get food poisoning from watermelons and also magnesium. Magnesium stabilizes your blood pressure, stabilizes your nervous system, and accordingly, it's easier for you to achieve erection because you're a calmer person. And if you didn't expect watermelon to improve erections, make sure to hit that like button and let's move on. Here's a very unexpected fact about watermelon. How much watermelon do you think you need to eat to get your daily dose of magnesium? Just one big slice. Next product number 3, walnuts. You know, there are tons of these recipes out there. Grandpa recommended it, Dad recommended it. Sour cream with walnuts drizzled with honey, it's all good for potency. But why is it actually good? Let's break down what's in there. Iron, magnesium is there, which we already said we need. And iron is needed for good blood formation, blood supply, and overall blood circulation in the body. And so we don't have hypoxia. Although it's rare for men, it's actually a pretty common problem for women. And of course, it's a nitric oxide donor. And plus, beyond that, it also enhances the synthesis of nitric oxide. And of course, L-arginine, it's a precursor to nitric oxide. And so when it's present in your diet, nitric oxide levels will be higher. Fourth product. Remember the cartoon about Popeye the Sailor Man? When he ate spinach, he got strong and his biceps would bulge, his forearms would get all huge. But actually maybe something else was bulging too, because spinach is very beneficial for men and very useful because it contains a huge amount of tocopherol. What's so good about tocopherol? It has a positive effect on the endocrine system and regulates the production of male sex hormones. Numbers 5 and 6 are 2 green products, arugula and kale. Very beneficial, affordable, and besides being nitric oxide donors, they're champions in terms of the amount of nitrates they contain. Why am I talking about one substance, then another substance contained in foods, nitrates, nitrates, nitrates everywhere? Why so many of them then? Well, you're not going to eat just kale, you're not going to eat just spinach. So you need to know the whole list of beneficial foods because health starts with your grocery cart. You go to the store, look at the shelves, think, okay, should I get this? Should I get this or that? You choose what fits your needs, throw it in your cart, and you can make some kind of salad mix. In principle, from the things I've listed, you can already make a pretty good salad. One more product that has a positive effect on nitric oxide is beets. Beet juice, probably out of all the products I'll list today, this is the most effective method. It's even considered a natural aphrodisiac, the most effective method, and besides improving your erection, it might also improve your performance at the gym. There's research, and I've personally tried it. You can increase your workout capacity by 12% if you drink beet juice before training. This isn't magic, it's just built into how the mechanisms work. When you consume pre-workout supplements, you're also consuming nitric oxide donors. In fact, this is a natural aphrodisiac that also combines the properties of a pre-workout. So if you take a swig of beet juice, you'll really get a strong pump for your workout and a strong pump in your penis. About beet juice, you need to know, well, probably 2 things. There's so much beneficial stuff you could talk about with beet juice. It strengthens the immune system, makes blood vessels healthy. But 2 important things. First, don't be scared if you pee red urine. Beets really actively color your urine. So if you drank beet juice in the evening or during the day and saw what looks like blood in your urine, it's not blood. Don't worry, it's normal. Probably no less important than its role in enhancing nitric oxide production, and also, let me remind you again, it's a nitric oxide donor. A very important property of beets is lowering female sex hormones and raising male sex hormones. Many of you have endocrine problems, endocrine causes of erection issues, and many of you also have elevated levels. And of course you ask, how do I lower it? I don't want to take anti-estrogens. I don't want to poison myself. I'm currently on the path to a new body, losing weight. Maybe when I lose weight, there will be less estradiol, but because of high estradiol levels, I have problems with it being hard to lose weight. Beet juice is the answer to your questions. It really does lower estradiol levels. Now, you might ask, is it bad to lower female hormones? It's bad to lower them below normal. Don't lower below normal, but the ratio of male to female hormones it will make very good. So there's a certain norm where when we have testosterone deficiency, we often have estradiol deficiency too because of the testosterone deficiency. And our estradiol, the female sex hormone, comes from the male hormone through aromatization, meaning through the action of the enzyme aromatase. It acts on testosterone, and part of the testosterone converts to the female hormone estradiol. They can't be equal. It's bad when testosterone is low and estradiol is high. This will balance the ratio and help you maintain it at a good level. Of course, if estradiol is very low, like in many people on anti-estrogens, well, goodbye healthy bones. But here we're talking about balance. And this will give you health, longevity, good well-being, and good erections. Now, some of you might be wondering, should I only drink juice or can I also eat regular boiled beets? Look, have you actually tried boiled beets? Yeah, it's kind of meh, right? But you can throw it in a salad. Think about how many greens we've listed today. And you can crumble nuts in there. You can throw in salad, the same kale, spinach. I'm not exactly a great chef, but surely you can come up with something from all this. There are actually quite a few of these products. And I know about these ones because I consider them the most effective for solving the task at hand. But I'm really interested in hearing from you guys. I actually read the comments. I just don't always have the opportunity and time to respond to them, but I read them all. Please share your experience. What has strengthened your erection? What helps you enhance your sexual function? Don't be shy. Share it. I'm really interested. And besides me being interested, other viewers might try it because there's no perfect method. Sometimes something works great for one person, but not for another. And possibly what I've listed won't work super well for someone compared to what you've tried. Write in the comments under this video and read each other's stories. Garlic. Honestly, I thought long and hard about whether to recommend it or not. Now everyone's going to walk around saying he recommended garlic to everyone. The thing is standing up, but there's no action because it smells. But anyway, the point is it really does help, and it helps because it doesn't contain nitrates, of course, but it very actively influences the synthesis, the conversion of nitrates to nitric oxide, specifically the formation process. It stimulates it. And besides the stimulus it gives, it also enhances the production of male sex hormones. This is really a very important factor. And so you shouldn't think that if you have hormonal problems, you have low testosterone, that you drank some beet juice or ate garlic and everything will work out. First, you need to be sure that you have normal testosterone levels. An important property of garlic, especially suitable for those with stressful jobs, is that it normalizes cortisol levels. Naturally, especially during your sex life when you have unstable erections, this cortisol will be spiking. And of course, garlic, together with all its beneficial properties, must definitely be on the list of beneficial products for erection. Product number 9. You could actually include many products there, but I'll probably say oranges, although you could say citrus fruits in general. Any products that contain large amounts of vitamin C. This is an important component for extending the lifespan of nitric oxide. That is, it has a protective property. That's exactly why you can mix a salad and add, for example, orange slices to it. And one component will help produce nitric oxide, while another component, the increase in vitamin C at that specific time, will help it live longer. The medications that doctors prescribe for erection basically work this way. They increase the lifespan of nitric oxide. It doesn't break down, and therefore the erection is maintained. Now you might be thinking, are these products usually just absent from the average guy's diet? And the answer is yes, pretty much. A donut and some coffee, that's the typical routine. Rarely does any guy actually think about all this until the problems start. And that's the issue. The guys who come to see me usually already have a gut, meaning they've already been walking around with endocrine insufficiency for some time. And they say, I ate whatever I wanted my whole life, put whatever I wanted in my body, drank and smoked, didn't exercise, was always in shape. And now my gut is growing. They come when they've already been dealing with the problem for a certain period of time. And when their health allowed them to eat that way, when it didn't show up as poor erection, poor mood, skin problems, then they really could allow themselves that. But when the problem forces them to go to the doctor, grabs them by the collar and drags them to the urologist, andrologist, endocrinologist, of course they start thinking, what am I doing wrong? And we all, of course, coming to the doctor, expect some magic pill that now the doctor will pull something out of the cabinet, put it on the table, and we'll feel better. But the most important thing is to think, why did you end up at the doctor? Why don't other people come to the doctor at 30 with a big gut? Why do other people sleep well? Why do other people have normal potency? Why do they have kids right away? Because some people wait for illness to visit a doctor. Some people wait for illness to check their health. But other people, they respect themselves, have a culture of communication with their body in the form of periodically checking their health. Periodically, not when it hurts, going to the doctor, well, like to the dentist. You probably go, I hope you go for oral hygiene, not when half your face is swollen and you drove somewhere in the middle of the night because it hurt. So please, my dear friends, even if you don't currently have health problems, adopt a healthy lifestyle. Health is the most valuable thing there is. You know, originally there were 9 products on the list, but I still added a 10th, even though I hesitated. You know why? Because I wanted to be realistic, because we're regular guys and we're not some billionaires. And when we eat, we try to eat regular products, and not many of you can afford the 10th item, oysters. Yes, I wrote them down. They're considered a natural aphrodisiac, partly because they contain large amounts of zinc. This improves testosterone levels. Yes, they help, but objectively, I'd put it at number 10. I actually compiled 9 items that will help you get a healthy erection, stay happy, and not spend a fortune, because everything I've listed costs very little and should be part of your grocery cart when you next go to the store. Please don't forget about these products from this list. It will really have a strong effect on your erection. Stay healthy, fill your heads with the right knowledge, and I'll see you in the next video.